it today. In my early 20s, I was debilitated by my fear and anxiety. And I would find myself hustling for my worthiness outside of myself. My identity was being whatever I needed to be to please everyone around me or to achieve so that I could earn the acceptance or the love of others. And finally, I came to the realization that I will never break free from my pain until I find that worthiness from within. I needed to break through that old identity and create a new identity that would lead me to finding a love, an appreciation, and a respect for myself. It was at that time that the amazing Tony Robbins came into my life, and also triathlon. I fell in love with the sport at first sight, but I had no business falling in love with it because I didn't even know how to swim. No idea. But I decided that this was a perfect vehicle through which I could find myself and find a love for myself. So I took up the sport and I did my first race, and I absolutely humiliated myself. I nearly drowned on the swim. I could barely turn the pedals of my big clunky mountain bike on the flat course. And I ran half the run with my helmet on. I was a disaster. And I came in dead last. But I had never felt so alive in my entire life. And so that night I declared to my mom, who was the most important person in my life, and to myself, that I was going to be the best in the world in this sport. She looked at me like I was crazy, and maybe I was. But I had learned from Tony what I needed to do in order to give myself every chance of making this dream a reality. I immersed myself in the sport. I modeled the very best athletes. I got a coach. I surrounded myself with people that kicked my ass and pushed me to all new levels. And I learned how to fail. I became someone willing to fail, understanding that when we fail, we learn. And when we learn, we grow. And when we grow, we make progress. I trained 7 to 8 hours a day of the most epic training. It was excruciating. But I proved to myself every single day that we as humans are so much more powerful than you could ever imagine. Exactly 8 years after setting this goal, I became the world champion and the best triathlete in the world. My impossible dream had come true.
Give it up for her, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you. Tony has shaped every aspect of my life since I was 20. And 1 year ago, I realized just how much that work mattered, just how valuable these skills that I learned from him would prove to be. I got a phone call from my doctor, and he said, "Siri, you have acute myeloid leukemia. And not just that, but you have a genetic mutation. It's going to make this really difficult to treat." My wife was listening in, and she had tears pouring down her face. And I looked into her eyes, and I had never, my entire life, felt love so deeply from another person for me. I never loved anyone as much as I loved her in that moment. And I knew I had to make a decision right then and there. And I said to my doctor, I said, "This is not my time to go. I am going to survive, and I am going to thrive." Now, we all know Tony tells us the power of our decisions. In that moment, that decision meant that every thought I had, every action that I took was going to lead me in that direction of surviving and thriving. Right away, I knew one of the things that I've received from Tony by doing over 20 Unleash the Power Withins and Date with Destinies and Life and Wealth Mastery is I have emotional fitness. I am the master of my mindset. I am the master of my emotions. Thanks to Tony, this is who I have become. And that emotional fitness gave me the ability to be resourceful in that moment of incredible stress. And I was able to decide upon the treatment that I would choose and that I would believe in 1,000,000% and never look back. As an athlete, I realized how important it is to have daily habits, a routine that you do every single day. And you know what made up my routine? Everything that I had learned at Unleash the Power Within. Meditation and energy healing that I learned from Master Co and Sage Robbins. Cleansing and alkalinizing my body that I learned from Anthony William. Healing through voltage, which I learned from Dr. Tennant. And movement and postural health from Brian Bradley. And most importantly, I understood because of what I learned at UPW, why someone like me could get cancer. There are poisons and toxins in the world, like Anthony was just talking about, that can turn on genes that you don't want to have turned on. But everything that I had learned at UPW became my routine, that I did every single day, no matter how sick, no matter how weak I was, because that routine gave me certainty during a very uncertain time. Tony has also taught me through my work from him how to change my state on a dime, how to live in a beautiful state no matter how bad things are around me. I'll never forget lying in my hospital bed. I was in the hospital for over a month, had every machine imaginable hooked up to me. I was sick, I was weak, I was 25 pounds lighter than I am now. And I would fall into a moment of deep despair and fear and worry. But I would catch myself and I'd say, focusing on this, on how bad I feel, how sick I am, this isn't going to help me heal. This isn't giving me energy. So I would change the channel and I would focus over on the couch where my mom was sound asleep. She had slept there every single night for 30 nights, and I would feel so grateful. And I'd look over at my wife who hadn't left my side, who was giving me so much strength every single day, and I would feel so grateful. I think about the doctors and the nurses and the care I was getting, and I would feel so grateful. Gratitude was the bridge from despair to hope for me. And then I would look at the walls, every inch of the walls covered in my vision boards, reminding me of the life that awaited me, pictures of me riding my horse and running up my favorite mountain. And I would close my eyes and I'd see myself running up that mountain, strong and healthy and energetic, and I would feel like it was real. And then finally I'd look over at this poster you can see over my shoulder. That was my proof. That reminded me of who I am, and that I have everything I need inside of me to make the impossible possible again. We all have proof. And in times of deep struggle, you have to access your proof. Remember the times when you overcame, when you never thought that you could. Remember the times that you achieved something that seemed impossible, but now it's yours. We all have proof. You must access it. All these skills that I learned through attending UPW 20 plus times for all the work with Tony led me to 6 months post bone marrow transplant, getting a phone call from my doctor saying that I am cancer free. I get to live. I get to live.
Now.
Hey, You guys, health is everything. Without it, we have nothing. Don't wait for a diagnosis to take charge of your body, your mind, and your spirit. It has to start now. Now, I know that what Tony has delivered in these last 5 days has been absolutely incredible. But no matter how good you think this was, it's nothing compared to living 4 days and 4 nights completely immersing yourself at UPW. It will absolutely change your life. My favorite quote is from Prefontaine. To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift. You are the gift. Your body is the gift. This life is the gift. Tony is offering you the most incredible gift of signing up for UPW today for such an incredible deal. It will change your life. I'm going to add to that. I'm going to offer my 28-day health and fitness challenge that is absolutely phenomenal, worth $1,500. I want to give it to you guys to make it even more exciting for you to join UPW. But it's going to be amazing. But you guys, it is time to be the champion of your own life, to love yourself and care for yourself like you would your most beloved. And look at me. I am someone who has the relationship of my dreams that I dreamt of for a lifetime. I have a successful business that isn't even work, it's my passion. I have a mission where I save horses and they save humans, and that fulfills me to no end. And most importantly, I have my life. 1 year ago, they told me I had 5% chance of surviving. 5. But I am here. I'm not just alive. I am thriving. I ran a 10K 2 weeks ago.
Give it up for her, ladies and gentlemen. Sir, you're so beautiful.